It is a good life we lead, brother.
At best, may it never change.
And may it never change us.
Assassin's Creed has been one of the most anticipated franchises for its new release almost every year, from Altair in 2007 to Eivor in 2020. From the Middle East to Britain, the game has been performing astoundingly, but as always, we all have the curiosity to dive deeper into the games and rank them as the games have been changing in terms of story, the setting, and the gameplay. Before we start ranking the games, I just want to tell you that all EC games are good in their own way. Just because they are down the list does not mean they are bad or something, it's that the other ones are just better. We'll not be comparing the games based on graphics because it's pretty trivial that the list is gonna be in ascending order due to technology being enhanced every single year. We'll talk about the introduction of the games, then my opinion. Also, this is based on a personal experience, so feel free to disagree. Later in this video, we'll be talking about the next Assassin's Creed release as well, which is Assassin's Creed Mirage. So sit back, relax, let's dive into it. So on number 12 is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Set in ancient Greece around 431 BC, this was based on the war between Athens and Sparta that raged for nearly 3 decades. Straight to the point, this game did not feel like an Assassin's Creed game. I appreciate the combat system and how good it was, but it was more like RPG style combat, and the stealth was pretty negligible. I liked the Greek mythology of this game and the overall setting and environment. It felt like we were mercenary rather than an assassin. Also, the dialogue option made the game pretty different as we were choosing the character's personality on our own, and it made the character pretty bland. On number 11, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Set in the regions of Norway and Britain around 872 AD, this was during the Viking invasion of Britain. The game feels like an RPG game with some assassin elements, but overall it's just raiding places and conquering territories. I like the Viking and Norse mythology and how it shows characters are the reincarnation of gods, but despite it, the game just does not feel completely like an Assassin's Creed game. The game is also pretty long, and conquering regions again and again makes it even more repetitive. I found myself losing interest after conquering some areas, though I would mention how we met Basim and Hytham, who are the hidden ones, but still I feel like they should have had more missions so that we could have connected with them more. Again, dialogue option made the character bland and not having the thinking of its own. On number 10, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Set in London around 1868, this was during the Victorian era and near the end of the Industrial Revolution. The biggest part of this game was the beloved grappler and the continued parkour system from Assassin's Creed Unity. The grappler was so fun to use and convenient that we could free roam the whole map without getting bored. Also, the combat system was hands down the best in the whole franchise if you ask me. It was super quick and looked clean and also felt satisfying. The wide range of weapons made it even better. I didn't like the part where we had to conquer areas to level up and advance for the next main missions. Assassin's Creed implemented the RPG style from this game onwards, which is still going on. On number 9, we have Assassin's Creed Rogue. Set in the regions of America around 1752, this game is pretty unique as we play as an assassin who turns into a Templar. The game shows a unique perspective of the Templars, those we have been killing for ages, and then we kill the assassins as a Templar, which is quite sad because we've been playing from the assassin side from a very long time. Thinking about to kill the assassins because we are Templar, it just felt pretty unique. What I didn't like was that the game was pretty short, but still, it showed that even assassins can do things wrong due to individual failure. On number 8, we have Assassin's Creed 1. Set around the modern day Israel or the Middle East around 1191 AD, this was during the Third Crusade when Western Christianity was sweeping its influence around the world. This game gives me a lot of nostalgia. I remember when this game came out and how it was so hyped back then. The setting of this game was fantastic and it just felt like the most Assassin's Creed game because we frequently went to Marcia for reporting back and forth. The sound in this game also gave it an authentic touch, which also showed the culture in the Middle East and what things were happening in the Third Crusade. I do feel like the parkour was slow, and the game was pretty repetitive as we had to do the interrogation and stuff again and again. But it was the first AC game. This is where it all started, right? On number 7 we have Assassin's Creed Unity. Set in Paris around 1789, this was during the French Revolution. The game was pretty controversial during its release and how bugged it was, but still, it felt like you were playing on a painting. The colors, the crowd, and everything just feels so lively. If it was not for the bugs and the story, I would have given it the top ranking. The stealth and the parkour were just the best amongst any Assassin's Creed game till now. Arno, in my opinion, was the most stylish and the sexiest assassin in the whole franchise. The combat system was, in my opinion, not that great with the sword, as it just did not feel satisfying enough and was also pretty slow. The story just felt like it went from French Revolution to a love story, but we have to agree that the game was super ambitious for its time. Number 6 we have Assassin's Creed 3. Set in the regions of America around 1754, this was during the American Revolution and when the 13 colonies got separated from Great Britain. By the way, this was the first Assassin's Creed game which I played in my life. It just happened coincidentally. I like how we play with two characters in this game. We play as a Templar and we also play as an assassin. I like the father and son connection in this game, and also due to the differences in ideology, people can go down completely different paths despite of being a family. The combat was one of my favorites as well due to the axe we use. It gave a perspective of a Native American person and how the American Revolution affected them. I just feel like Connor as a character felt very aggressive. I mean, sure, he had a lot of bad things happen to him, but there could have been some moments where he was not that tense. So the top 5 games from here are all good and I have nothing to disagree with actually. There might be just some minor problems, but we'll see that. On number 5 we have Assassin's Creed Origins. Set in ancient Egypt around 49 BC, this was during the time of Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. This also showed the beginning of the Hidden Ones, aka the Assassins. I liked Bayek as a character because he had similar personality to Ezio. The game's concept was pretty good as it was based on justice and revenge. Actually justice. And due to the path they took from the Hidden Ones, the pyramids, the caves, and the tombs just made the game mysterious. Even though the game had an RPG style combat system, which I'm usually not a fan of as I have given both the RPG style games the last 2 ranks, it still had an assassin element when we would infiltrate different hostile regions. On number 4 we have Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Set in Rome around 1499, I regretted so much that I didn't play this game before. A lot of my friends told me that this is such a good game. It continues from where it was left in Assassin's Creed 2. It was a perfect sequel, chasing the Borgia family and trying to go against the Templars. I like how we could recruit different assassins in our creed who can assist us throughout different missions. The game also had a significant upgrade in terms of buying things. I like how we visit the mansion with Desmond in the present. We saw how the people escaped the area from the Borgia attack. Overall, this game was proper continuation to Assassin's Creed 2. Number 3, we have Assassin's Creed Revelation. Set in Constantinople around 1511, this was during the rise of Ottoman Empire and previously conquered Constantinople. I feel like this game doesn't get enough credit for what it has done. The game just perfectly connected the life of Altair with Ezio. The game not only focuses on Ezio's story, but gives Altair's story a proper ending. The game was pretty mysterious because we had to find the Masyaf keys to see the life of Altair. Also, we got the hook which we can use to parkour much better. The ending was just perfect in the whole Assassin's Creed franchise, and also Ezio got wiser. On number 2 we have Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Set in Caribbean region around 1715, this was during the golden age of piracy. This world was enormous and that's an understatement. I like the whole pirate theme and the amount of time we spent on the ship just destroying other ships and upgrading the beloved Jackdaw. I liked how Ubisoft didn't romanticize the pirates but showed what realistically happens. It's just a perfect story about a guy just trying to make money and falling into something so uncertain. From a common man to holding this much power, I like how we make friends throughout the journey and form a connection to ultimately lose them. Edward is probably my favorite character. I know a lot of people will disagree, but he turned from a guy who wanted to make money into someone a lot more sensible. Lastly, he understands everything and works with the Creed to defeat the Templars. On number 1, we have Assassin's Creed 2. Set in parts of Italy around 1476, this was during the Italian Renaissance. Now I have to justify why I put this game in front. The reason is that whenever I think of Assassin's Creed as a whole, the first thing which appears in my mind is Assassin's Creed 2 and Ezio, and also in my mind Ezio's family soundtrack plays automatically. From the streets of Florence to the river canals of Venice, the game was truly an unforgettable experience. I have to mention the soundtrack that makes us completely engulfed in the game. Thanks to Jesper Kid, which is the music composer of that game. Even though the game is pretty old, its story just overrides the old mechanics completely. The combat system also got some heavy upgrades from the first Assassin's Creed game. The game started with Ezio trying to get revenge and turned him into a person who not only seeks justice, but fights for the people and gives them freedom for what it's worth. As it said, nothing is true, everything is permitted. So before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about some bonus stuff, which is the release of a new Assassin's Creed game, which is about to come next year, which is Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage will be set in Baghdad around 861 AD or just before Assassin's Creed Valhalla. At this time, Baghdad was the most populated city on the entire planet. As we saw in the trailer, the setting looks incredible. Huge crowds could be pretty useful for stealth missions. As we see in the trailer, the game has hardcore Assassin's Creed vibe because we saw a secret place where all assassins are standing together, and that's where Basim does the ritual by cutting his finger. I guess the game will show the progress of Basim from him being young. We also see the feather which he uses in the afterlife part, which is similar to Altair in Assassin's Creed 1. Though I would not like to make assumptions, the game looks great. But as always, we cannot form conclusions without any gameplay footage. I know I could have missed some points as it's impossible to cover 200 hours of gameplay. Feel free to provide some missing points in the comment section. Even if I had the time to cover everything, the video could have been very long and would have turned boring eventually. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be making similar videos in the future. You can also give suggestions and I would be happy to make a video about it. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.